Namaste everyone, welcome to Aurora Yoga. My name is Christina and this is my dog Pearl. Welcome to this month's new moon astro intuitive guidance chat and yoga practice. This month we have an extremely intense new moon happening in the fixed water sign of Scorpio. This moon is particularly intense because it is aligning smack in the middle with Mercury retrograde, which I'm sure most of you are feeling on some level, as well as being opposite Uranus, which carries very unpredictable, chaotic energy. This new moon is going to be at peak illumination very early Thursday morning, November 20th at 1:47 a.m. Eastern Standard Time at 28 degrees, 12 minutes. This is a deep emotional new moon. This is not about manifestations, planting seeds, affirmations. This is about soul work, deep soul work on a level that is extremely uncomfortable for most people, so they just tend to not go there. I will see this in restorative yoga classes where the goal is to be still. And if you can't cultivate that stillness, it's because you do not want to tap in to everything that's going on inside of you. It will catch up to you eventually, regardless. So it's a good idea to get in line with slowing down, turning inward, letting go of emotional weight that you've been carrying, especially stuff that we keep tucked away deep down inside. And why this is going to be so intense is because Mercury retrograde is going to be probably bringing up old thought patterns, old versions of yourself. You may even be thinking a lot about certain people from your past, relationships. You may have vivid dreams, get hits or visions of, things that happen, things you could have done better, things you could have, it's all hitting you at once. This is just an emotional storm. And it's also in the middle of probably the most chaotic energy we've ever witnessed in our lifetime. I don't know about people who are much older than myself. I'd like to call myself an Xennial. I'm technically Gen X, so I've been through a few decades, and I will say this is weird. And no matter where you're at in your life, there's this underlying energy where people are living in fear right now. People are holding on to so much. And one thing I'm seeing is this need for release, like true release. And one way that you can do that is by letting go of stuff you've been carrying around. You may not even be aware that you've been holding on to so much, especially if you're somebody who's been through, a lot of grief or trauma, bullying in childhood, all kinds of things. This is where we start to, as uncomfortable as it is, open up, face these truths, these parts, and let them go. This moon not only asks us to really slow down and to tap in, but it's about emotional honesty, like really getting honest with yourself, where you're at. You are never too old to start over again. Like never. It's not a thing. Looking into, intimacy, emotional truth. Are you with the right partner for the right reasons? Are you doing things in your life that are aligned with your truth. You know, and it's not, how can I say this? Most people aren't aligned with their truth. And it takes a lot of courage to be in that space. But being in that space, once you get there, if you're lucky enough to get there, freedom. That's what's at the end of that. Freedom. Freedom from constraints, freedom from power dynamics, you know, freedom from just letting go of control. You know, that's another illusion we have in our life. And I don't care who you are. And I can talk to the top of the top. You're not in control. Nobody is. You can control how clean your house is. You can control how well you take care of yourself. I guess that depends on your financial status, right? But everyone can take care of here, here, and here. And as we move through our practice today, I want you to keep a question in the back of your mind. What am I ready to emotionally release right now? What am I ready to emotionally release right now? This is how we make space. This is about surrendering. This is about softening. This is about being vulnerable, opening up. Because if you can't do that, you're going to keep holding on to things. They will surface at some point. And that could be the destruction of even a relationship that you're in, or a job, or something else. You know, this is the time to get right with you and do your soul work and to go inward. And you don't need to tell anybody you're doing this. This practice today, I do have more like questions, like food for thought, I'm going to incorporate to help you open up this space, because I know how difficult it can be for a lot of people. We're going to be mostly dealing with sacral chakra energy. Women, that's the womb, your sexual organs, your creativity, where we store deep-seated emotions, fears, traumas. It's all here. Have tissues. You may have things come up. And if they do, please release them. Let go. Allow yourself to cry. Allow yourself to scream. Allow yourself to do what you need to do to get this to the space of equilibrium inside yourself. And I also want to say this, you know, while this is a special, intense new moon, this is a practice that I invite you to come back to anytime, especially revisiting up until we hit the new year. Chances of you clearing everything in one session is probably not realistic. I'm not one of those people that's going to tell you can manifest this within a minute, or these things they're not realistic. There is a lot of magic in life and in the world, but there's also a logical aspect to it too, which I'll get to at another time. But thank you for joining me. We are going to get started at the back of the mat in a wide-legged child's pose. Namaste. Beginning at the back of the mat, a wide-legged child's pose. Taking a few slow, deep breaths in and out through the nose. Allow yourself to melt into the mat, softening from the tips of the fingers to the tips of the toes. Feel the hips soften towards the heels, the forehead grounding into the earth. Inquiring to yourself, what emotion is the strongest in my body right now? Walk your hands all the way to the right. Keep your head heavy and low. Gently place left palm over the right, left temple grounding toward the mat. Breathe into the tender acupressure point at the left temple, the place where held emotions often try to speak. Walk both hands to the left, right palm on top of the left, right temple grounding into the mat. Let this side soften a bit more. Often this is where we hold protection and control. Inquiring, what am I tired of carrying all by myself? Slowly returning back to center. One slow, even breath, equilibrium, child's pose. Press yourself up into tabletop, moving like water. Inhale as the chest comes forward. Exhale as the hips melt back towards the heels. Close the eyes. Let the joints feel oiled, fluid, ancient. Moving clockwise first. And then reverse to unwind anything tangled. Inquiring, where does my body feel stuck? And how can I soften it? Return to stillness and tabletop, moving into dragon. Right foot steps outside the right hand. You can walk the left knee back. Make sure the toes are untucked. First option, you can drop the chin to the chest. If you have a block or a pillow, perhaps placing the hands there or the forearms. If you're moving into full expression, walking right foot off the mat, coming to the outer edge. Forearms down, maybe hands in prayer. This is about emotional release, not force. Gently press yourself up. Release the right leg back. Left foot steps outside the left hand. Move into the same shape that you did on the right, using props or not. Inquiring to yourself, is there something I'm ready to say goodbye to? Slowly start to press yourself up. Back to tabletop. As we move into frog, open the knees wide. You can use blankets, bolsters, whatever your body needs to feel supported. As you breathe into the inner thighs, the emotional vault of the hips. You can take your time moving in to what you consider to be your full expression. This pose is the gateway. Let whatever arise. inquiring to yourself, what emotion have I been trying to hide from myself? Slowly, slowly start to press yourself up, back into a tabletop. Shoot the right leg back, and gently just pulse a few times to counter frog, unwinding. Over to the left side, pulsing, releasing, making your way onto your back for waterfall. Legs up towards the sky. Relax the face, relax the jaw. Let the blood flow downward, clearing the energetic debris. If you like, you can place the left hand over your heart, right over the belly, or wherever it lands naturally. Inquiring to yourself, what can I allow to drain out of my system? If you like, you can release the arms down by your side, palms facing up. Start to bend the knees, bring the soles of the feet together. We're moving into a supported bound angle. If you have blocks at home or pillows, you can place them underneath the thighs for support. Keep the hands where they landed. Let gravity do all the work here. Inquiring, where can I stop gripping so tightly? Remove your props out of the way. Draw the knees towards one another. Straighten the legs one by one. Point the toes away. Reach the arms up overhead. For a nice deep stretch from the tips of the fingers to the tips of the toes. Hugging the left knee into the chest. Give it a nice squeeze. Then take it across the right for a twist, gazing left. Closing the eyes. Inquiring, what past storyline am I ready to release from my body? Other side, hug the right knee in. So you release it over to the left. Gazing right, relaxing that right shoulder. Inquiring, what emotion is finally ready to move on? Return to center, take the legs nice and wide. Let the feet naturally splay out to the side. And resting the arms by your side, take them out nice and wide if you like. Closing the eyes, relaxing the face. You can even place a hand on the heart, one on the belly. Imagine a soft, dark, still pool at the center of your pelvis. The new moon reflected across its surface, not shining, but absorbing. A place where old emotions dissolve, quietly, completely. With each breath out, let something slip beneath the water. A memory, a tension, a story that has reached its end. Let yourself be new. Let yourself be empty enough to receive clarity, not manifestation, just truth. You can stay in your final meditation, your Shavasana, for as long as you like. Thank you for joining me for this powerful new moon in Scorpio. I'll see you in the next practice. Namaste.